Hey guys, Stacy here. We grow again. I'm outside this morning planting before this sun comes out. My allergies have been driving me crazy, but I just want to go over container planting and in the ground planting, because container planting is going to be a lot different than planting in the ground. In the ground we have natural micronutrients, organisms, bacteria that's good for our plants, those worms that are good, and in the containers you don't, so you have to kind of supplement that and add things in your containers. Now the way I get my containers ready is I use a Coco Loco potting mix as my base. This is my Coco Loco. It's from Bush Doctor. It's a great brand. I just get it at a local nursery, guys. It has natural bat guano and just compost in it all together. It has so much natural things in it. Take a look at this ingredient list. That is crazy. So it has the bacillus that you need for good growing. It's a natural bacteria, and then coconut fiber and everything. So this soil is great. I love it. I use it for everything. My blackberries in it. You can tell it's just taken off for me this year. I twined this all up in here. The blueberry, this is only about 2 years old. So this blueberry has gone bonkers. It's just growing like crazy. It loves it. And I make my own compost. Now, the way I do it is I put eggshells and magnesium in here to start with. I make my own compost with grass clippings and food scraps, but I'll go over that in another video. And the way I get this ready to plant these, I planted these out here yesterday and tilled up all my soil, is I get the eggshells and magnesium, I sprinkle it in here, crush them up, make sure they're a little bit decomposed, and then I just till up my soil. I get a shovel, I till this up a good couple of inches, make sure it's nice and airy, soft, not hard and compact. This was a green bean that a squirrel or something got to, so I'm trying to let it stay there and come back. Now I just want to plant my green beans so I can show you what I do. Now that's it for my container gardening. But when you plant the green beans, the eggshells and nutrients that I've been giving this and that's been in here, this soil is going to go right in this hole. So this cup is going to be totally flipped over. I'm going to put that extra soil that's left in here in and around the root balls and then give it a good press in. And that's going to make sure it just gives that extra kickstart that it needs with the nutrients that I've already been giving this in the cup. So the nutrients in your container is going to be different than the ground, because in the container you're making that yourself. The ground has its own natural bacteria and everything that our plants need. Bad stuff too, of course, but you can treat that with neem. It helps. And you just gotta constantly add that compost. These container feeding is going to be a lot more than in the ground. So in the ground I feed about once a week when they're big. Even this size is fine. And then when they get bigger in the containers, I feed the containers twice a week. So this one's going to be getting food. It's getting food once a week now, just until these little guys pop up. I don't want to give them too much nutrients yet. And then when they get a little bit bigger, have 3 or 4 sets of leaves, then I'll give this whole container a Bonnie Veggie Nutrients, which is just 1 tablespoon per gallon, and then I'll feed it with that. I'm going to start my own compost mixture, which I want to show you guys because that is great for putting on the top of your containers. We have so much grass that we cut. This grass grows crazy here. So just make sure you're not putting clumps like this in your compost pile. I will show you guys how to do this. I have kitchen scraps. I have to get out here and collect all these grass clippings. But this is a compost I make on the top of my soil, and it's so good to help these grow. I put eggshells, magnesium, grass clippings, and leaves in there, and they all do great. I wait for that to decompose after a few months, and I throw it on top, and then I know that they're getting natural nutrients, compost, and I don't have to worry about the feeding so much. I'm trying to switch all over to organic gardening. I'm not there yet. I'm still giving them a Bonnie Nutrients, but everything else is pretty much organic that I'm doing. This is some zucchini that popped up, sunflower, more cucumbers, some carrots, tomato. So I can't wait for these to pop up. Now all these, I started feeding this pumpkin. Pumpkins are heavy feeders. So I made my compost mixture with the eggshells and the magnesium and the potting mix, the the natural compost potting mix I have. And I put it all on top of here and made a little bit of a hill. I know this is supposed to be bigger for pumpkin, guys, but I just made a little hill to start with. I got to get some more dirt in here and keep piling this up. But you can tell where I put this natural compost in, they just started getting green, all the leaves, the flowers are blossoming, more blossoms coming out on them right there. And these are males. And I just want to show you what a male looks like. You're going to get males usually before you start getting female flowers. That's what a zucchini flower looks like. A male has a little, point in the middle like a pencil, like a male. And that pollinates the females. So the females pop up after. And the females stay kind of low so the male can pollinate them. So I noticed that it was lacking nutrients. You can see that it was starting to yellow and just losing its color. All these, a caterpillar has been destroying my garden. Look at these leaves. This is from last night. This leaf was only a little bit bitten, and he just had a field day last night. These caterpillars had a party in my plants. So you just gotta watch and treat with the neem oil when they're in the ground, because they tend to get, the bugs tend to get to the plants a lot more on the ground than in containers. And that's the only reason why I do plant in containers here in Florida, because Florida is so tough with the rain, humidity, the bugs. We just get everything here. So just remember when you're watering also, guys, that you don't want to soak your toe all the way through to where it's draining and stopping wet and just pouring water out of the bottom. Because now all the nutrients and micronutrients that are starting to become in here from your eggshells and your natural compost, you're going to wash that out. Watering this all the way through heavily. So just water it, give it a good water. Water until, it's pretty wet about halfway, and then let it sit, and all that water will end up seeping down to the bottom. If you notice that it's still a little dry at the bottom, you can test it with your finger all the way down there or a stick. Then you can just add a little bit more. Just don't put too much water in your containers. That's the main thing. In the ground, you don't have to worry about the water too much, because you're not washing, you can't wash the nutrients out of it. In these, you can. So just be careful with the water, guys. Make sure you're feeding your containers more than your ground plants. My containers, like I said, get fed twice a week, and my ground gets fed once a week with an all-purpose body nutrients. And then make sure you till up your soil that you're getting freshly seeded seedlings into, and till it up. Make sure there's good airy soil, it's not clumpy. And then once you get that in there, give it a nice water in, you guys will be fine. I'll show you that soil once again so you know what it is. I just love this stuff. It works so good. Here's the list of the nutrients just so you guys can get an idea. And that is it. That's all I do, guys. This stuff works great. It gives natural everything my plants need. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to help you. I got watermelon and down here, basil and an herb garden starting, and then some corn I put on the house. So I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm going to go try to get that tote ready so I can show you how I mix up my compost and how I make it, just to show you guys and make it a little bit easier on you. I'm going to get these in the ground today. Until next time, bye-bye.